Get ready to dive deep, because today we're exploring the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Yeah, and we've got a ton of sources here.
History, philosophy.
Health practices, even architecture.
We're even going to be venturing into those blue zones you hear about.
Where it seems like people just live forever.
Seriously, it's pretty wild.
It really makes you wonder what they're doing differently.
Right. Like, what secrets do they know that we don't?
Exactly. And we're going to try to uncover some of those secrets today.
I'm so excited to unpack all of this.
Me too. It's going to be fascinating to see what we can learn.
Okay, so you know how much I love history.
Of course.
Well, get this. The sources talk about how these ancient Mediterranean
Oh, yeah.
were like way ahead of their time when it came to understanding the power of sunlight.
Really?
Yeah, they had all these sun-worshipping rituals and stuff.
Interesting.
And now, modern science is catching up and realizing...
Wait, are you saying those ancient rituals actually had health benefits?
Seems like it. We're talking about vitamin D, mood regulation, the whole 9 yards.
It makes you wonder what other ancient wisdom we've lost touch with.
Right. Like, what else did they know that we're just now starting to rediscover?
Okay, so speaking of ancient wisdom, the sources also dive deep into this whole concept of the Mediterranean man.
Oh, yeah. That caught my eye, too. It feels like more than just a stereotype, doesn't it?
Definitely. It's about more than just a certain look or job.
It's like a whole way of being.
Exactly. They talk about honor, integrity, stoicism.
This really strong sense of individualism, too.
Oh, and of course, you can't forget that classic Mediterranean charm.
Aha, that's right.
It's like they've got this blend of intellectual depth, physical strength, and a deep connection to their roots.
It makes you think, are there lessons here for modern men?
You know, navigating a world that's constantly trying to redefine what it means to be masculine.
Yeah, that's a good point. So how does this all translate into everyday life? What are the hallmarks of this Mediterranean lifestyle?
Well, the Mediterranean diet is a big one.
Oh man, the food. The sources make it sound amazing.
It really is. Fresh, whole foods, lots of seafood, tons of fruits and veggies.
And olive oil. Can't forget the olive oil.
Absolutely.
But it's more than just what they eat.
Right. They talk about how food is this central part of their social life.
Sharing meals with family and friends. Really savoring the experience.
Exactly. It's about slowing down and enjoying the simple pleasure.
I love that. So besides the amazing food, what else makes up this lifestyle?
Well, they're big on physical activity, but it's not just about hitting the gym.
It's more about connecting with nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sources highlight things like swimming, sailing, hiking,
Even playing soccer.
activities that challenge you both physically and mentally.
I remember they even had a story about this businessman named Peter.
Oh, yeah.
He moved to the Mediterranean coast and started spending more time in the sun.
And it completely changed his life.
His energy levels went up, his mood improved,
It really shows you the power of lifestyle changes.
and it all circles back to what we were talking about earlier, right? About the importance of sunlight and vitamin D.
Exactly. It's all connected.
I'm sensing a theme here.
What's that?
It seems like this whole Mediterranean lifestyle is about finding balance.
I think you're right. A balance between mind and body, between tradition and modernity, between enjoying life and taking care of yourself.
I love that. And I'm really curious to explore that balance in more detail.
Me too. There's so much more to uncover here.
All right, well, let's keep digging. What else can we learn about this fascinating way of life?
Let's see what other treasures we can find.
I'm ready.
You were curious about the Mediterranean approach to masculinity.
Oh, yeah. It definitely feels different from what we often see today.
The sources point to a much broader idea of what it means to be a man.
Like, it's not just about being tough and strong.
Right. They highlight figures like Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he was amazing.
Just for his art, though.
What else?
His curiosity, his scientific mind, even his athleticism.
It's like they're saying masculinity isn't about fitting into some box.
Exactly. It's about embracing your full potential.
Whether that's intellectual, physical, creative.
It all ties back to that Mediterranean emphasis on balance.
Right. They value strength, but also empathy and emotional intelligence.
It's not about suppressing your emotions, but understanding them.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So how does that balanced approach play out in their relationship?
Well, the sources talk about the importance of
Close friendships, too.
and mentorship.
Like they have this built-in support system.
Exactly. A network of people they can rely on.
It makes you wonder if we've lost something in our pursuit of individual independence.
It's a good point.
Yeah?
And this sense of community extends to their spiritual beliefs, too.
Oh, yeah, we talked about the mix of religions in the region.
Christianity, Islam, Judaism, they all play a role.
And even though the sources don't pick sides,
Right.
they do highlight how these beliefs provide a sense of purpose.
Meaning community.
It's like a framework for navigating life's challenges.
Exactly. And speaking of navigating challenges, the sources also talk about financial independence.
Oh yeah, it's not all sunshine and beaches.
Right, they emphasize the importance of responsibility.
Saving, investing,
It's about having the freedom to live the life you want,
and to provide for yourself and your family.
which ties into that entrepreneurial spirit we touched on earlier.
They're not afraid to take risks,
To start their own businesses.
be innovative.
It's all part of that multifaceted approach to life.
I like that. So we've talked about balance in relationships, spirituality, finances.
But there's one more area we need to discuss.
That-
Their relationship with the sun.
Oh, right. The Mediterranean sun is legendary.
It really is, but they understand it's not just about getting a tan,
They know it's a powerful force.
with both benefits and risks,
The sources talked about how ancient cultures worshiped the sun,
and how modern science is now proving them right.
about its importance for health,
Like vitamin D production,
mood regulation.
so many things.
It's amazing how they were so in tune with nature.
But they also understood the importance of moderation.
Too much of a good thing can be bad.
You got it. It's all about balance.
There's that word again.
It really seems to be the key to the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Finding harmony in all aspects of life,
Mind and body, tradition and modernity, the individual and the community.
and even their approach to physical activity reflects that.
Remember those activities they talked about?
Swimming, sailing, hiking,
All physically demanding, but also mentally engaging.
and steeped in history and tradition.
Fostering discipline, resilience, camaraderie,
The sources also mention the risks,
overexertion, injury,
but they emphasize taking precaution, listening to your body.
knowing your limits.
Again, it's all about finding that balance.
It always comes back to balance.
It seems like that's the secret to unlocking the Mediterranean lifestyle
A lifestyle that's been refined for centuries.
and continues to adapt to the modern world.
It's truly fascinating and inspiring.
And it offers some valuable lessons for everyone.
No matter where you live or what your background is.
So, after all this, what does it all mean? How can we apply it?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It feels like a big question with no easy answer.
True. But I think it starts with being more mindful
Paying attention to what brings us joy.
and making time for those things.
Maybe it's eating more fresh foods,
Spending more time outdoors.
prioritizing relationships.
Finding a spiritual practice that speaks to you
Or maybe it's being more mindful of how we use technology.
so it doesn't control our lives.
It's different for everyone.
But the key is to start small
Be consistent.
and be patient.
Change takes time.
But the rewards are worth it.
A healthier, happier, more fulfilling life.
That's the promise of the Mediterranean lifestyle.
A promise that's within reach for all of us.
It really is.
I'm already feeling inspired to make some changes,
That's fantastic.
to prioritize things that bring me joy.
And create a sense of harmony. Remember, it's not about becoming Mediterranean
It's about taking what resonates with you,
and incorporating it into your own life.
finding our own personal balance.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm ready to keep exploring.
Let's see what else we can discover about this amazing way of life.
So we've covered a lot of ground, but there's one thing I keep coming back to.
What's that?
How does all this tradition and balance fit in with the modern world?
I see what you mean.
Especially with all the technology and social media, it seems like a tough combo.
Well, the sources actually address this directly.
They do?
Yeah, they talk about this interesting paradox.
Like what?
The Mediterranean lifestyle is so rooted in tradition, in slowing down.
In those face-to-face connections.
Right, exactly.
They're not totally rejecting technology either.
It's more about finding a way to integrate it thoughtfully.
So not shunning progress, but using it wisely.
Nicely.
The sources mentioned using technology in the kitchen,
Oh yeah, like precision cooking and those online recipe communities.
blending the old with the new.
Exactly. Using technology to enhance those traditions, not replace them.
But there were some warnings too, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like getting so caught up in posting your food pics that you forget to actually enjoy the meal.
Yeah, it's easy to get carried away.
It's a good reminder that technology is a tool. It all depends on how we use it.
Absolutely. And that applies to social media too.
I was just thinking about that.
The sources suggest using it to stay connected, to learn,
Share experience,
but they're also aware of the
the
downsides.
comparison trap.
The pressure to look perfect.
And it all comes back to balance, doesn't it?
It always does.
Using these tools in a way that enriches our lives.
Without letting them control us.
You know, so much of what we've talked about comes down to mindfulness.
Being present, making conscious choices,
The sources also emphasized gratitude,
appreciating the little things.
finding beauty in everyday moments,
It's like they understand that happiness is a journey.
not a destination.
Well said. So, after all this, What's the takeaway? How do we apply it?
It feels like such a big question.
It is a big question, but I think it starts with those small steps.
Being more mindful.
Paying attention to what brings us joy.
Making time for it.
Maybe it's those fresh foods.
Maybe it's getting outside more.
Prioritizing those relationships.
Maybe it's finding a spiritual practice.
Or setting boundaries with technology.
It's going to be different for everyone.
But the key is to start, to be consistent.
And to be patient.
Change takes time.
But the rewards are worth it.
That healthier, happier, more fulfilling life.
That's the heart of the Mediterranean.
A lifestyle that's available to all of us.
This deep dive has been incredible.
We've only scratched the surface, really.
And for those who want to go deeper,
You can explore the book we've been discussing.
it's available on Amazon Kindle and Google Play Books.
It's definitely worth reading.
Well, that's it for our deep dive into the Mediterranean lifestyle.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
And keep living that Mediterranean life.
Ciao.